Well, hello. I'm back. Today is Tuesday, February 22nd, 2022. So, two, 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 two. So, the past couple of days, I have been marinating, whatever you want to call it. And with my anniversary, the last session was much needed, and it was a great day because I was releasing a lot of, like I said, I wasn't beating myself up, but I was hanging on to that trauma. And so when you discuss it and whatnot and, think about it and just kind of look at the overall, then you release it, you let it go. When I was younger, for the longest time, I would always be one to just be like people would be like, oh, I went through this. And I guess I would say I don't want to say that I didn't have sympathy for people, but I would just be like, it's part of life. Suck it up, move on, um, without actually really understanding and grasping until this age that everything I have been through, from bad to good, like all of it, okay? It is energy, and that energy sometimes gets stuck. And if it's a bad energy or a heavy energy, believe it or not, this is what causes illnesses, aches, and pains, and just the way our body works and our mind and everything. It's just amazing. So speaking about that day, I just kind of wrapped my brain around that, my vision, and just kept on thinking about that. And that's kind of what I'm doing as I go through this therapy, is just sitting and marinating with what's going on in my head or whatever it may be. I wish that I could literally keep it straight, like start from where originally and then just like roll and lay out every little nook and cranny that's affected, that there's energy that is still stagnant, and that I just need to release it and let it freaking go. Because it's not like I'm sitting here going, oh yeah, I want to hang on to this. Like, it's not like that. It's because for so many years in my entire life, like, I'm 40, so I was trained and taught to be suck it up, move on. Like, don't talk. I mean, I talk about stuff. I'm open about stuff. But our society, we have been, I don't want to say brainwashed to be quiet, basically, on whatever you go through. And, mental illnesses, like people speak about addiction and their recovery. And I love that. I love hearing when people are like, I'm 4 years clean. Great. I love that. I do. But you know what I would really love? I would love for the people that are in that recovery just be like, I've had a really traumatic life, or, I had a traumatic experience, and that's what led me to drinking or drugs or whatever. That's just me. Because, like I said, I'm learning how to retrain my brain, because I still have that a little bit there where it's just like, when I think of or hear things, I don't want to say that I don't have empathy, because I have a lot of that. But there's just that part of me, that tough gal that's just like, suck it up, move on, let's roll. Like, this is life. Come on. It is, but it also is very A-okay to talk about what you've been through. And if you talk about it once and that's not enough and you feel like it's in your forefront again and you want to speak about it again, or somebody else or whatnot, speak about it. If it's there, that's what I'm doing. I'm trying to do better about it, because that's what, that energy stays there. So when it's there and you're not like speaking it out, or, whether you're doing therapy with a therapist or doing this, because I encourage anybody, like if you don't have a therapist, record yourself, watch back the videos, just talk to the video yourself. You don't have to post and share it like I am. I'm doing it because I'm hoping I can encourage others to start digging in and doing their work, the healing. Because I would hear people say this like throughout my years growing up. Oh, and I would just be like, whatever, they're so, whatever. You know what I mean? Like I just had that one mind thought process that was just like, it's just amazing how after waking up, and when I say waking up, spiritual awakening, healing, when that took place, priority, it was just like an aha moment. It was just like, oh my gosh, why didn't I was hearing it, but why didn't it register? So anyways, sorry, I got a little sidetracked there. So discussing that helps. And I'm not saying it's completely released. I'm 3 years out. I know I'll probably speak about that story again. But I feel good, and that was what was needed that day. So I've been sitting here and throughout the past week and just kind of marinating in the marination. I don't like to cry a lot, but like obviously this is my therapy and it's just gonna happen. So there's certain things that had happened in my life that when they're coming to my forefront, I don't remember everything right off the bat. Like, I know, like, even like watching, or because I've gone back and watched and listened to my recordings, and I'm like, oh yeah, I remember, you know what I mean? Like, so my process, the more I'm talking, the more I'm opening my memory, and that way I can fully release, like the details or whatnot. I'm not saying that I'm going to necessarily speak about gory certain things in detail, because some stuff's blocked off still. And it's not that I want it blocked off. I want it exposed. I want it released. I don't want to carry that negative, heavy energy anymore. I don't. So my entire story, it starts back from when I was 6 years old and I was molested. And just to give you a quick little like crash course, okay? Because it's not going to cover everything, but this is going to be like a little quickie like crash. So 6 years old, I was sexually abused by my babysitter. My parents were still married at that time. So then years down the road, my parents get a divorce. Not years down the road. That would be actually if I was in first grade. So that was nearly probably within the year. If I was 6. So within the year, they've divorced. Whenever they divorced, eventually my mom ended up getting in a relationship, and this guy was my main abuser. She was in a relationship, I want to say it was 2 years. I'm not 100% sure. this is the part that is somewhat blocked. And it's not fully blocked because I know for the time that he was in our lives, he was abusing me, sexually abusing me, threatening me. I'm not going to go like full on details, but it was a period of time, and I'll go back to that and discuss more because that's not where I'm going with what's been in my forefront, but I'm just kind of laying that. So my main abuser was 2 years, lived with us for 2 years. And so basically what is kind of wrap myself to is during that time, and my parents' divorce. So yeah, sexual abuse, parents' divorce. Then my mom's so okay, let me just get this out. Why we have expectations of people, it sucks. Because this is where, I guess you can say, that I felt abandoned by my dad. All the years, all the stuff I've been through, all the trauma, I just kind of like, it's not like a joke, but it's, I own my shit and I tell people, or like if I'm, meeting people or dating or something like that, I tell them that I have daddy issues, and I tell them, and it's not like in a wrong way of sense of like he touched me or anything like that. No, the daddy issues that I have are feeling abandoned by him during their divorce and all the years that, growing up and not having him there. But now that I look at it, I mean, my dad is human too. He's got a past as well. So as a little girl, though, I didn't know that. And my expectations of him I had set because I was daddy's little girl. And he protected me. I always felt safe with him. I always felt comfortable. Like, I never felt like he would hurt me like that. Like, I'm blessed that I didn't have an actual, family. I shouldn't say that because, I mean, unfortunately, there are actual family members that do that to other family members. And I'm just thankful that, I felt so comfortable and safe around my brother and my dad. Like, they were my comfort. I knew I would be protected by them at all times. And so, yeah, that's, when my parents divorced, Dad wasn't around anymore. Every other weekend we went for a little bit, and then when we got older, we just completely would see him, here and there, and he had moved out of state. So, God, I just, that was the thing, is like, there was expectations set or given to us, basically. You know what I mean? Like, we all have expectations. Like, society sets these expectations on us and expect us to do certain things, or, you should be this way, and that, this is what's expected of you as a father or a dad, a mom and a whatnot. So when I was young, I didn't know better. And then now here I am, I'm like, not too long ago, we went on an 8-month no talking spree. That's the second time we went on a no talking spree. One time we didn't talk for a year. So there's issues there, but they're not horrible. They're just because he's hurt too. I'm hurt. We're all like taught a certain thing or a certain way, and if we're not, then we try to figure out ourselves, and half the time, we don't always make the right choices. So okay, real quick, I'm just going to say this real quick because I just noticed my time, and if it shuts off, I will jump on another recording, and I'll just have to do 2 parts. If not, if this runs, then great. So going back to these expectations, it sucks because it made me realize that I set expectations, or I had those expectations, and my dad didn't meet them.